The goal is to get people who don't want to borrow money from us to borrow money from us at rates they don't want to pay. That is a salesman. I heard this great thing from Bob Iger in the book he wrote. He said, I had the hardest job in the world. Every day, I had to get people to sell things that they did not want to sell for prices that they didn't want to sell it at. But that's why I remained and grew to be, Mike Eisner's heir apparent running Disney as the CEO. Because I was great at getting people to sell things they did not want to sell at prices they did not want to sell them for. I mean, think about that, right? Think about what that means. You have to get Pixar to sell. You have to get Steve Jobs to sell you Pixar when Steve Jobs actually fucking hates you. And that's the truth. Steve Jobs hated Disney, hated Bob Iger, yet ultimately sold them Pixar because of the way that Bob Iger operated and executed that deal. It's an amazing story. And at a price that made sense for Disney, which they've ultimately made a ton of fucking money on. That's the game. Anybody can go, to answer your other questions, anybody can go on MLS and buy something that's for sale and pay too much. Great fucking job. So you went to a place that had things for sale and overpaid. Nice job. Woo-wee doggy. But to be in this business and to do what we do, it takes grit, it takes determination, it takes creativity, like we talked about yesterday. So you can't do that. You have to get contractors that don't want to do the job for a price they don't want to do it for, and be grateful to do it. That's the game. You have to get people who don't want to borrow money from you to borrow money from you at rates they don't want to pay. Get the theme? Hey, great job. I got a guy who wants to borrow money from me, put down 10%, and we can charge him 0 and 7. Let's go! There's no job there. We don't need people to do that. We can just put an ad out on Instagram and just lend money to anybody who walks down the pipe. The goal is to get people who don't want to borrow money from us to borrow money from us at rates they don't want to pay. That is a salesman. A salesman is the guy who gets you to pay what you don't want to pay for the thing that everybody else is offering. So how do you do that? You do that with language, you do that with tenacity, you do that with showing up on their doorstep. So you take that, then you spin some skills in it, that's when you become great. When you get guys who want to put down 10% to put down 20. When you get guys who want to pay no points to pay 2. When you get guys who want to pay 7% to pay 9. Then you're a fucking gangster. But until that time, we're just, we're not there yet. But that's the goal. That doesn't happen overnight. That happens with the way that you show up, the way that you communicate, the way that you explain the vision and the mission of the company. If you can get people to attach themselves to bigger concepts which you're a part of, that is when you can do that. But if we're just selling soap, well, they're gonna pay the less for soap. Unless you're a discerning buyer like myself who loves Cremo. So every facet of our business has an element of sales. You're either selling the company, you're selling the construction and contracting business, you're selling the tenant business, you're selling the videos, i.e. doing a better job on Instagram than anybody else. You're selling the money, you're selling the boat, you're selling the house. You're always doing that. You go from average, because I'll say nobody here is bad. You go from average or mediocre to good to great is the level at which you can get people to do things they don't want to do for prices they don't want to pay. That's the goal. If there was anything at all that you liked in that video, you're welcome. If there's anything you didn't like, blame Marcos. But either way, like, subscribe, comment, whatever suits you.